This video and others like it are funded by viewers like you. Thanks for your support.
I'm going to speak to this as a woman because I see the only people who talk about this are men. So it's going to be a very different perspective if you are watching the men talk about it versus the women talk about it. As a female, these are just the rules that we do. We are always keeping an eye on our things. We don't bring anything out. We don't wear flashy jewelry. Most men, their entire lives, have not been told be safe. When men come to Colombia versus someone like me who is constantly, my head is on a swivel, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. However, there is a handful, I'm just saying a handful of those who come here and completely think it is just like your home country. Colombia is nothing like your home country.
Okay guys, as you've seen, this video is going to be from a young lady that lives in Medellin, Colombia. So we're going to get a different perspective. You've heard me say it, and you've heard all these other guys say it. Now hear it from a female's point of view. Let's jump into it. Follow along.
Hey, you watching, man? Right now you're watching DC Born Rob on YouTube.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. You're watching DC Born Rob Erasing Borders. I'm DC Rob. This is not going to be a quick one. I'm going to tell you up front, it's approximately 25 to 30 minutes. I'll probably cut out a small couple of minutes, but it's approximately 30 minutes. And I know in this age of short attention spans, which I have one now from, thank you, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, it's hard for me to watch past 10 minutes. But the problem is when I cut these videos up into smaller chunks, the second and third videos never get viewed. So this one's going to be a little different. I'm going to play it straight through. I may jump in from time to time, but you need to hear this information. You need to hear this information from a female's point of view. I've done all I can. I've used reverse psychology. I have videos how to get robbed, teaching you how to give it up. I mean, this time you're going to hear it from another YouTube. Go figure, another YouTube. Her name is Sara. Sara Travels, and you need to get over to check her channel out. But let's just jump into this video right now.
So let's first talk about what is currently dominating social media is the string of murders that has been happening in Medellin, specifically to American tourists. And why I do not feel unsafe. I feel safe in Colombia and even in Medellin. However, I'm a bit of a different traveler. I do not come to Colombia to look for drugs or to look for women or to look for men. If I meet somebody organically. So what is happening? A lot of the men who come here, I'm going to speak to this as a woman because I see the only people who talk about this are men. So it's going to be a very different perspective if you are watching the men talk about it versus the women talk about it. So, as a woman, my entire life, I have lived in big cities. I've lived in Boston, I've lived in Los Angeles, and I have visited multiple big cities throughout the world. There are places of danger in Los Angeles. I have been to Las Vegas. I am telling you, I've been all over the United States, especially in big cities. And, you know, I used to party. I no longer party. That's not my lifestyle. But I did, and I had no problems in those cities. Would I party here in Medellin? When I first came here, yes, I did go out to the bars, I did party, I did meet people online, and I was dating. Completely different from now. But as a woman, my entire life, most women's entire life, we have always been told, be careful, be safe, be cautious. So as a woman, if I have a drink, I will cover my drink with a little, like a napkin, or you put something on it, or you would hold it like this. As well as, we don't take drinks from strangers. We make sure to watch our drink. If someone is buying you a drink at the bar, you go up with them, you see the bartender make it, and you have your drink. Just as a female, these are just the rules that we do. We are always keeping an eye on our things. We don't bring anything out. We don't wear flashy jewelry. We don't normally try to impress people because fortunately as a female, we don't have to. All we have to do is dress a little bit sexy. We don't have to wear fancy jewelry or anything. I mean, I never have really. But yeah, but women, we have different assets, right? We can wear tighter clothes or shorter clothes or a push-up bra. We can do these things, so we can stand out differently. However, most men, their entire lives, have not been told, be safe. Because as a man, you are stronger and you can fight back, and it's just female and males are different. We are a different, completely different species, really. The way we are brought up is different. So when men come to Colombia versus someone like me who is constantly, my head is on a swivel, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, I'm watching. I do listen to books, and today I was actually walking down the street and a guy came right up behind me, and I had my earbuds on. I was listening to a book in my own world, and if I was in a different part of town, that could have been dangerous. And I'm very aware that that was wrong, and as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, why am I doing this? Because I also am comfortable being here. I've been here almost off and on for 5 years. So, but as a man, you probably don't think about these things. And just like you don't think about coming to Colombia that you have to have your head on a swivel. And yet then there are people who think this. There are people, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying there's a select group of people who come to Colombia who have completely, I think, no common sense. There are a lot of women and men who come to Colombia every day and visit and have no problems. However, there is a handful, I'm just saying a handful, of those who come here and completely think it is just like your home country. Colombia is nothing like your home country. If you look at the history of Colombia, it has a very dark history, especially in Medellin. Medellin has, 20 years ago, I would not even be here. I would not be in Colombia because it was so dangerous. The fact that I can come here and want to live here just signifies how much it has changed, as well as it has been ranked Medellin in general has been ranked one of the best cities with the transformation overall in the entire world. Has made a complete 180 from when it was to what it is now. But within the past year, has it gotten more dangerous for tourists? Absolutely, it has gotten more dangerous for tourists. But I think there is something, I think Colombia overall, I feel safe here, but I also watch my back a lot. In the Pueblos, this is one reason I love the Pueblos, I don't feel as endangered. People are different than in the city. Here in the city, if you're walking around when you're on your phone and you have on jewelry and you look like you have money, you are a target. First of all, you are already a target because you are a foreigner. It doesn't matter if your Spanish is perfect. It doesn't matter if your parents are Colombian and you were raised in the US, you look different. They can tell, they can spot it. How? I have no idea, just I guess years of practice. I can spot foreigners as well. But you weren't taught growing up, be safe, watch your back, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. Like we as women get told don't all the time, and then do this, do it differently. So yeah, we're always like super vigilant. But yeah, there's a handful of men who come here and they completely forget where they're at. And like I said, Colombia has been notoriously known as being a dangerous country. That is why people ask me if it's safe and tell me I shouldn't be here traveling alone, I shouldn't be here by myself, because it has a history, a reputation of being a dangerous country. And like I said, do I feel endangered on a daily basis? Absolutely not. Colombia is full of so many amazing things, but there are also, in the United States is full of amazing things, and we have our pockets of danger. But when it happens abroad, and it happens specifically to a group of people, and the reason it is happening to this group of people is because they're coming to Colombia for the wrong reasons. They are coming because they want to go on Tinder, and this is the big thing. They go on Tinder, they meet a girl, the girl drugs them. I think the intention is not to murder these people. The intention is to give them a little scopolamine, devil's breath, knock them out enough where they're controllable, because it's what the devil's breath does, is it turns you into a zombie, and you follow commands, you go to your ATM, you go to your apartment, and you will do whatever they say. So that is the goal, is to rob you. The goal is not usually death, but unfortunately these people who put it into your drink, they don't know, they're not professional. They just go and dump and do whatever. They're working with a group of people. It's like this whole group of people that are targeting people who are looking for women online. Normally these women, not saying they're all prostitutes, but prostitutes is a huge thing. Prostitution is legal. A lot of people come from the US get a prostitute, take them out, get drugged, go back to their hotel, either get robbed or they end up dead. Or they end up in a street somewhere, they end up in a bad part of town, they wake up. Just this past week, there have been two dead found in hotel rooms, and my friend told me last week there was 2 young European guys found in the ditch in like a bad part of town. They were okay, they didn't die, but they were robbed. Fortunately, they didn't die because the other 2 Americans, one I think was from Minnesota, Asian American, and the other was from, I think, Tennessee, and they both end up dead, found in their hotel room. Same story, they met a girl, went out with a girl, and ended up dead the next day. So, also, as females, we are told do not online date in a foreign country. I don't know if you men are being told this, but I'm telling you, don't online date in a foreign country. If you meet someone in person, fine, but you have to really be on guard while you're here in Colombia. Especially when you meet people, because knowing that men, you are the target. Normally women, we are the target. And yes, we be a target? Of course we can, because I'm smaller, I'm littler, I can't fight back, and I can get robbed just as easily. But men mostly think that nothing's gonna happen to them, and I assume something's going to happen to me. So it's a completely different outlook. I assume when I go out of here, when I leave this place, I don't like to bring my GoPro. I have a cheap phone. There's a reason I have a really cheap phone. Everyone who sees my phone is like, well, what do you have this phone for? If it gets stolen, it's worth $50. Not even $50. It's a cheap phone. So it's like a burner phone. That's what I have. That's what I use. That's the only phone I have. And also my things. I don't have expensive things. Everything I have is old. If it gets stolen, it's not worth any money because it's old. I don't dress nice. I kind of look like a bum 24/7. But men come here, you guys come here, and you wear like a fancy watch, you have necklace or chains, or I don't know, like you have like clothes that are name brand. And the thing about here in Colombia, people wear name brand clothes, but they get them knockoff. Usually they're knockoff brands. But if they see a foreigner with name brand clothes, they instantly assume it's the brand, because usually it is the brand. Because foreigners, when we come here, we have more money. We have more money than the locals have. So this is why I'm always talking about don't go somewhere. I mean, yeah, you can come here, your money will go further, but at what cost? Like, if you come here, blend in with the locals and keep everything you buy stuff, local stuff, no name brands. Like everything I have on has no name brand on it. I think most of the stuff I bought on the side of the street, or I buy like at thrift shops. So, but I don't want you to think, oh, I have to change who I am because this is who I am. This has always been who I am. So I haven't changed who I am. It's just a convenient way to travel. And everything that I had that was expensive, I sold before I moved. 5 years ago, I sold everything. So a lot of, especially if you're coming here on vacation, you want to come here, you want to meet a woman, you want to get laid, you want to do drugs. I mean, do I agree with this? No, I don't agree with these reasons to come here, because I think it's coming to Colombia and you're taking almost like the worst of the worst out of this country instead of coming here for the beauty. And yes, the women are beautiful, but if you want to meet a woman, you can meet a woman, a beautiful Colombian women. They do exist, not on dating apps. They're all over. You just walk around, you go up to people and talk to people. But also you have to be careful. You have to be careful dating, man or woman. Like, I'm very careful. I don't really date. But my friend dates. The girl that I'm staying with, she dates. She dates online. She meets guys online, and she's had no problems because it's a different situation. Because you men are more visual than us. Like, if a girl, because here in Medellin, it's very common to have plastic surgery, because the one thing about Medellin, it does remind me of Los Angeles a lot, and everyone cares about their outward appearance. That's really it. And men, this is what you see, because men are visual creatures. Me, I'm not so visual. Most women aren't visual. We need something substance, but men, yes, you need substance also for like a long-term relationship. But just to come in and get laid, you don't care. You see a girl with fake big boobs and she's got everything together and she looks like $1 million and you're like, wow, she's so hot. Yeah, probably she's a working girl. Not saying she's a working prostitute, but she's working with the group that is killing people. Because they have a huge empire. I don't know, I'm just speculating. It's a huge empire, but is this happening? Because the only ones that we see are the ones that die. We don't know how many other people that it happens to that don't die and just get robbed. Because those don't always make the news. As well as, they're not gonna publish how many foreigners die here because it's bad publicity, it's bad press. So, you know, the YouTube channels that are talking about it to help people to realize that you need to be on guard when you come here. You need to be cautious when you come here. And there are some things you just shouldn't do. Like don't date online. If you want to date, meet a girl in person. There's tons of ways to meet women without going on Tinder, specifically Tinder. And even Bumble, I don't know how Bumble is, but I think it's a little better, but I wouldn't do any. I don't do any of them. I don't like them. I don't do any of them. But you can meet people through friends of friends. You can meet people, you know, just by going to meetups instead of online, because that is where the target is. As well as if you go out with a woman, I mean, don't ever leave your drink alone with her, as well as don't get too drunk. But when it comes down to it, it is the drinking. When you go out, you drink, you forget your inhibitions. You might leave your drink on the table. You don't know who's putting stuff into it. So, you know, if someone else buys you a drink and brings it over to you when you're drunk and everyone's being social, because this is the thing, Colombians are so friendly. So friendly. So you can't trust anybody. I mean, as a female, we get told this all the time, don't trust anybody. I mean, yeah, and that's why I also travel and I don't have too many issues, because I don't trust anybody. That sounds horrible to say, but until you know somebody well enough, you have to keep your trust. You have to keep that wall up, especially because you are not in your home country. You're not in the United States. You're not in Europe. You're not in countries that, you know, don't target you. So, especially, I mean, there's this area of town, Parque Lleras, near Poblado, and that's where a lot of the men come to stay, because that's the easiest way to find women and prostitutes and dating, and it's where you party and you can find tons of drugs there. So yeah, so if you just avoid, so if you want to come to Colombia, you can come here and be safe. And a lot of these people, it says they weren't big partiers, they weren't big drinkers, but here's the thing, you cannot be a big partier, but if you have one drink and someone slips something into that one drink, that's all it takes. All it takes is one drink. And this is what, you know, we get told as women all the time, is it just takes one time. One time walking down a dark alley, one drink, one this, one that, and that's all it takes. It can be in water. So going out is just, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game right now, especially right now in Colombia, because here's what's happening. Inflation is insane all over the world and here in Colombia. And a lot of foreigners, is what we say is, oh, it's so cheap, but you have to think about saying something is cheap is not cool to say that, oh, it's so cheap, so I'm gonna go there. Because it's not cheap for the locals. They don't make any more money because prices go up. It's just like in the US, prices go up, you know, your salary doesn't go up. And you know, coming here because you think quote unquote cheap is not cool, not a good way, not a good thing to do. And then you come here because you think the women are more submissive, or the women are more, I don't know, they say feminine and ladylike, so they want to meet women, you know. But unfortunately, that can come with a price. It can come with a price of your life, unless you are actually coming here to stay long term and you want to meet someone the right way. It is completely possible to do that. I know a lot of people who've met women here and, you know, are happily married, and it is possible. Just like if I want to meet a guy, I'm not going to go online to meet him. I'm going to go to meetups or friend to friends and do like things that I enjoy doing, because then you're going to find somebody that you have something in common with and you enjoy. But if you're just coming here for fast, easy fun, you know, you could pay with it with your life, which is really sad and it's really scary. And like I was saying, the inflation is here. So when when people don't have money, and if this girl can meet a guy because she's hot and help this gang rob him, essentially, she's gonna do it, because most likely a lot of people here have kids. They have families to feed. They have mothers. They have fathers. They have families that rely on them, and this is their line of work, is to rob from foreigners who have more money, because every foreigner has more money, especially if you bought a plane ticket to come here, because a lot of people here cannot afford to leave. They can't leave here. So, and the peso to dollar is better, but it's not as, it's still not great. Our money goes way further here, and they know this, and they know if they can steal your new iPhone, then they're going to be able to feed their families for 2 or 3 months. So you have to think about this stuff when you come here, because I think a lot of people forget. They just see Colombia, and the thing about Medellin right now is, oh my goodness, rents, everything. Rent is like, this place I'm staying with my friend, she's been living in the same building for like 5 years, and the rent has tripled. There are rents here that are up to $2,500 a month to $3,000 a month. If you want to find something cheaper, you're gonna have to go outside the city. Yeah, I would never live here. I don't like it here. I don't like it here because of these reasons. I don't like cities. I also don't think, it's the whole inflation and the thing that's happened with Poblado. When I came here 5 years ago, it was still mainly Colombian. It was Colombians. It was a fancy place for like the Colombians to go out at night. It was, had the bars and the clubs. Now it's turned into the expat gringo hub, and I don't even go over there because most Colombians that were there got kicked out because rent prices went up. And like about a year ago, you saw like a lot of the locals here were really unhappy with what is happening, and they're blaming all the foreigners for coming in because you're bringing in more money. We have more money, and yeah, the people who rent the buildings are seeing an opportunity, and they're taking it. They're seeing, hey, they're gonna pay this much money, we're gonna charge that much money. I think it's a double-edged sword. There's two problems. The locals are charging higher rents. The foreigners are coming in and paying the higher rent. So it is a completely toxic circle that is happening, and there's not one side or the other to blame, but if you see a market, you're gonna increase your price. And the amount of tourists that are here right now in Colombia, I should say specifically Medellin, because once I leave Medellin, I don't see anybody. I've been traveling for almost a month and a half throughout Colombia, and I've seen like a couple backpackers, because I go to these little pueblos that no one's at, or cities that there's not a lot of people. I specifically skipped a couple of cities that I don't like. I don't actually like Bucaramanga. I know people have mentioned it. I don't like that city. I don't like Bogota. I prefer to Medellin, but I don't like Bogota. I don't like Medellin. The only two I really like that I would consider living in would be Tunja or Manizales. Even then, I wouldn't live in the city. I want to stay in Antioquia. I do love Antioquia. It's beautiful here, but it's more expensive. And it's beautiful as well. I'll show you my view in a minute. And yeah, it's amazing here, and that's why people come here. But once you leave Medellin, you get out of Guatape, you get out of Medellin. There's a couple other hot spots, but other than that, you don't see anybody, and it's back. It's kind of like the way it was. I'm imagining the way Medellin used to be. Well, before, after it was, after the bad time, before it was taken over by foreign travelers. And because right now I think it's going through a big change, and who knows, these people getting murdered, it could be because there's too many foreigners coming in, or it could be because they see an opportunity. Just like the rent's going up, there's an opportunity, they're gonna take it, because the chances of these guys actually getting caught are very slim to none. I don't think the government's gonna do much about it, but I don't know, but you have to take it into consideration that danger happens everywhere. If you look up how many people die in Las Vegas or in California or in Chicago, foreigners, it's going to be elevated. However, here it is specifically the scopolamine, which is concerning, and it is targeted toward one specific demographic, which is males, foreign males. and they're typically here for, I know, you're gonna read online, that person was not a partier, that person was not this, that person was not that. You know what? In their home life, they might not have been. But when people come to Colombia, I feel like it goes out the window. They see the women, they get distracted, they want to do drugs or they want to party, and it just, all their like common sense just kind of goes. So, and I'm not saying that's everyone, but if you are going to come here, male or female, be careful, be cautious, don't drink to excess. I wouldn't even drink at all. I personally don't go out, but I know you come here, you want to party, but it comes with a price, and you have to understand that Colombia is not your home country. And if something happens to you, the chances of them figuring out what happens, very slim to none, because you have to remember, you're still in Latin America, you're still in Colombia, you're still in Latin America, which you just have to know, you have to understand, you're coming into a country that has come from civil war for how many years in their country, coming from narcos and cartels, and that's a way of living that hasn't changed. It's just gone under the radar for so long, but now with these new string of what's happening, murders, serial murders, you could say it's starting to come back to light, and people are scared, people are canceling their tickets, but you can still come to Colombia. I mean, it's a beautiful country, it has beautiful people, and have amazing nature. And just be smart. You're gonna have to be like us women now. When we say be careful, watch your drink, you're gonna have to not like brush us off, because we've been told our whole life, be careful, be safe, don't do that, don't do that. Now it's kind of like the men need to start, you guys need to start listening up. Most of my audience is men, but I know most of you are smarter than those who come here and completely lose their senses. And most of you, I think I have a handful who actually are Colombian, maybe living in the US. And your family's probably left when it was dangerous. So to come back here with that trauma of understanding what it's like here, what it was like here, it's traumatic. So I know, me being here, people are like, oh, you're gonna get kidnapped, you're gonna get this, and you're gonna get that. And there's, these are all real valid facts. But I also don't come here with a naive mindset that, oh, everything is perfect here, everything is amazing. No, everything is not perfect and everything is not amazing. And no matter where you go, you have to be smart and you have to keep your wits about you. So anyways, with that said, I just hope that you come here, you have an amazing time, because you should come to Colombia. I think it's a beautiful country. Get out of the city. If you want to come here and find a woman, you can 100%. Just don't drink too much, don't party, don't do all the things that you see these people are doing who end up in the news. So, and please don't date on Tinder. That is like the one red flag. That is the absolute worst way to meet people is on Tinder, or in Parque Jarras, or in the Poblado area. Just go somewhere else. If you're really looking for a specific type of woman, or you're really looking to meet somebody, leave the center of Medellin, go outside a little bit, and you will find exactly what you're looking for. So with that said, I am still here in Colombia, and I plan on staying because I love it here, and I don't find these issues. I mean, my head 24/7 in a city is like this, and you just have to be smart, and that is it. So I hope this doesn't dissuade you from coming, but if you were going to come here for the wrong reason, which was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you can come here for rock and roll, but not the sex and the drugs. If that's what you're coming here for, just go to Vegas. It's smart, it's safer, it's more expensive, but it's safer. If you're gonna come here and you are aware that your life is on the line, then, it's like enter at your own risk, basically. So I will see you guys next time with a more uplifting video. I will do a little bit of Medellin, but I don't really like this, so I try not to video too much in Medellin, because it's not my thing. So we'll see what happens. I will see you in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
Thank you very very much.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant day.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Right quick. If you need to have things shipped to Colombia, shipped to someone else, or shipped to yourself to Colombia from the United States, make sure you reach out to CaribbeanShipper.com. CaribbeanShipper.com. The contact information is coming next. Join me on social media. I am DC Born Rob Official on Instagram. I am DC Born Rob Official 1 on TikTok. I am DC Born Rob O on Twitter. Don't be like this guy right here.
You're just so stupid. I had to send you a video to let you know you're so stupid.
That's right. Don't be like this guy right here. Join me on social media. Headed to Medellín, Colombia? See my guy Andres with Nomad Travel for safe airport pickups and drop-offs and tours. Contact information in the description below. Okay, guys, another day, another trip. I'm getting ready to hit the road, and guess what? One product I'm taking with me. That's right. It's the Epica Travel Adapter. It's going with me wherever I go. You need to do the same.
Thanks for hitting like. You did the right thing by hitting like. Thanks for hitting like. Thanks for hitting like. DC Born Rob.